before it gets any crazier.
Yeah, we got the whole forceps damage baby up there.
I don't know if y'all are hearing this, but there is a background conversation about Rita's retarded little Cupid statue, and it's really
It's adorable. It has balls.
Speak for yourself.
And we do have a guest today. Peter
got-
has joined us.
We had a bunch of guests.
Yeah.
and Courtney and Deej.
Hello.
And Rita and Jonna. So the peanut gallery is in full swing today.
I'm just here to see the train wreck.
Yeah.
And we actually have topics to discuss.
Yeah.
I remember two of mine
I'm going to start it.
now.
They may have left the list at home.
Yeah.
I did leave this home.
You may not have time to talk because I'm levitating. Yeah. I've got a lot of singing to do.
Explains your Cupid, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Uh,
My life, folks. There you go.
First and foremost, yay for the Florida legislature who has passed the bill to take away Reedy Creek's exemption.
yes.
For those that may or may not be following that, that means that Reedy Creek now has to get a approval from the state and the county for anything they want to do at Disney World. Their law enforcement becomes null and void, and they're going to have to pay taxes.
Yep.
And they're going to have to follow county statutes.
Yes,
So Rat World is screwed.
yes. For those that are talking about the Johnny Depp Amanda Heard, if that boy has fried his brain.
Well, yes, but
Yes, she is.
At least he's not crapping on the bed
Yeah, I wasn't going to get into that.
or throwing pots and
One is tempted to say they deserve each other.
Yeah,
oh, I don't think anybody deserves what Amber Heard's been doing.
Yeah, I don't think
Well, there
so.
is that.
yeah, Jesse, that's right. And they now no longer have permission to build their very own nuke plant, which was their plan.
Yeah.
I would like to see more nuke plants, so I'm kind of sad about that part.
Yeah, but
Can everybody hear everybody in here, by the way?
I thought he was saying that Amber and Johnny had planned to build a nuke plant.
They were one out of control.
Well, they'd achieved cold fusion, right?
Baby.
Mean remarks from the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Depp is a little off by about 50 cards short of a deck.
But
Yeah, but Amber's a lying snake.
Yeah.
So
And Depp is actually a decent human being.
whereas
He's odd, but he's decent.
he's also
Yeah.
remarkably generous.
Yes.
So just because he's an artist type and he's a little weird in his presentation, the guy has a great history.
Yep.
And so here's a song. Here's a song for Johnny and Amber. Wake me up before you go.
Oh.
Get it? Go.
Yeah, Jim. Crazy is as crazy does. Not tying that to Rita at all.
Yeah. You sound like the Wicked Witch of the West.
No, it's Bethel Irvin.
oh god, methyl Ermin, yes.
Yeah, you're right, David. It does not excuse the abuse.
No,
It does not excuse the abuse going either way.
I'm not sure. The majority of that, I'd say 99% of that's going one way, from what I'm seeing so far.
Well, one then has to say, what was he doing putting up with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reliving his childhood abuse.
Trust me, after 26 years, I wanted to ask every assault family violence victim that question.
Because if you were abused as a child, you think you deserve it.
Yep.
And you tend to stay for it unless you get counseling.
Yeah, yeah, that's very possibly true.
No, he has a pretty unfortunate childhood.
While my brain cells, while my squirrels are in
Aligned.
one location, briefly, announcement number one. Anybody following the Mike Tyson thing from last night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he beat up on someone on the plane, but I don't know why.
Well, apparently let me get to that. Apparently, for those of you who don't know, Mike Tyson got on an airplane last night about 10:30 in San Francisco, California. A guy and his drunk shit weasel buddy recognized him, showed up, apparently got an autograph, and then drunk shit weasel sits down behind Tyson and starts poking the bear. He was being a shit weasel. And there's this video of Mike Tyson getting up and tuning him up. And the simple fact that A, he wasn't unconscious, and B, no fractures, means that Tyson wasn't that serious.
Yeah.
Because even at 55, damn.
Yeah.
I would like to announce that there is a corollary to the Texas he needed killing defense,
Yeah.
a lesser included defense, if you will, known as the he had it coming defense.
Yeah.
And modern society, with its emphasis on mommy government, has made it to the point where shit weaseling in public. Yes, I verbed a noun. I made up the noun. I can verb it if I want to. Can shit weasel in public without taking any
No consequences.
no consequences. I'm in my future dystopia, corrective phrenology will be about the only free government healthcare. For those of you who don't know, corrective phrenology is reading the bumps in your head to determine your character and everything. Corrective phrenology is when you take him and you feel his little head for a shit weasel bump. And you take a 5-pound sledgehammer and you hammer that shit weasel bump flat. And you go to the other side to the kind and gentle, courteous human, there's obviously going to be a dent there. And you apply the hammer until you have a lump. Corrective phrenology.
Yeah.
Multiple applications sometimes required.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Love the law and Lone Star Planet. Yes. One killed a politician. The only question was, did he deserve it?
Yeah.
Hmm?
It's amazing how people who have not been in the military and have not had to get on with a barracks full of people from all over of every possible kind of human being.
Yeah.
You learn a heck of a lot like that. I went into the military as a spoiled brat. It didn't take them long to beat that out of me. And
Literally in some cases.
yes. So
Yeah.
you learn a heck of a lot, and you learn quickly, or you die. One of the two.
Wall-to-wall counseling, they actually have Department of the Army got really upset when somebody printed up a field manual, FM 2-20, I forget, wall-to-wall counseling manual.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the paint thinner. Really, David?
Well done. Okay. Squirrels, second announcement. Earlier this week at the Raisin Farm, I was cogitating on things, and I had an epiphany.
Again.
Yes. This epiphany is that every time I say I'm not going to do something, you little minions get together and make sure it's going to happen.
You notice you got 3 fingers pointing back at yourself.
You little minions. So I'm pointing. So I'm hereby going to short circuit that.
Yeah,
I am
right.
hereby announcing that if there's enough Malta stories, we'll do a third volume of the anthology called Saints of Malta. This way, nobody will write anything. I know how this works. Thank you very much. You may pass the word around.
Yeah.
That's my announcements for the day.
Like that's going to stop anybody.
Yes.
Well, tell them not to do it. Damn sure doesn't work.
Ian, tell yourself what you need to. It's okay. We understand.
Yeah.
Love you too, Jonna.
I won't tell you the number of people who are like, I've already started my second Malta story for the third book. It's a continuation from their first.
Yeah.
What? Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah. Then there's the TV offer.
People are seriously doing a backup story to their.
Yes.
Are you folks fucking insane? What the hell?
9 minutes.
We're just ever so slightly off. We're off more than a few bubbles, put it that way. And most of us are blowing the bubbles while we get it.
I've noticed. Trust me, I've noticed. By the way, where's your story?
And there comes
My
the
story is just about done.
Mhm.
And yep, that'll be in the second one. Try doing construction at home and supervising workers and everything, and trying to write while
Well-
that's going on.
And he's still
That's
writing.
He's still writing.
He's still writing. Peter
Yeah.
knows discipline.
No, I just know I know the spare. You know? It's got to be written anyway, so I'm writing
Haunted
it.
library.
Working on it.
Okay.
I've been a little busy. We just launched a book.
No,
And?
for the third volume, I think I'm going to do something about
What?
the rattle of Malta. Yeah. Well,
I know how this works.
Maybe the sapper lizards of Malta.
Trust
They
me,
live
the,
in the caves.
the first 2 books, I know how this works. I'll be promised 12, I'll get 4. So I know how this works.
Uh-huh.
And I figure if I announce we're having it, I'll be promised 12 and get 2.
18.
Koala.
Yeah.
No.
You get 18.
No, we won't even get close to
You want to
18.
take bets on that one?
Remember who
Well-
you're dealing with.
I don't bet John Hayden because that's a sucker bet. But
Yes.
we're not going to get 18 stories.
Oh, I'll take that bet.
Oh,
I'll take that bet.
Well, that leaves
okay.
2 wide open ranges.
Yeah.
Below
Yes.
and above.
Yep. Come on, guys. You're all listening in. We need 18 to the power of something. Let's see what you can do.
You think it won't happen?
Nope.
Koala, you do have to continue to write. Your story was good. We need more. You can do some research. We know that. You know how to do that.
Oh, by the way, the Itchy Paw diplomatic mission to the Maltese consulate in the DFW area will be after Tolcon because I'm way too busy right now to take a drive to the Metro Mess.
Yeah.
And Nancy, we've got plenty of people that are more than willing to beta read for you, including myself.
You may not recognize the story when they finish it, but they'll better read.
So after the week after Tolcon, we'll do we'll scoot down. Oh, speaking of, the National Library of Malta contacted me today, and we'll be happy to receive a copy of the first book. And they gave me a contact person and address to send it to. So go us.
Yep.
Yay.
Wait till you get Chuck Tingle's contribution.
I have last say on the stories going in there.
Not this one, you don't.
Yes, I do. I have last.
We're going to outvote you.
I don't. This.
I do have
I'm sorry. This is not a democracy. What? What? What?
You know who he is.
I do.
What?
She knows Chuck Tingle. There you go.
I haven't met him in person, but I do actually have his contact information.
Baby, Courtney knows who Chuck Tingle is.
He doesn't know enough. What?
Courtney knows Chuck Tingle.
Oh, really?
Now you've done it.
I'm in trouble now.
That, for those of you who didn't hear, it, that was a squee that came out of the back.
Yes.
John says, pounded in the butt by Malta.
When I was finishing my undergrad degree, a couple of the English majors were talking to me, and we were talking about writing stuff, and I said something. I guess I said something perverse. I don't know.
Again.
She said,
You?
"Oh my God, you're Chuck Tingle." You know, if we get a story by Chuck Tingle in the anthology, it might actually get a Hugo nomination.
Which I will happily yet regretfully turn down.
You are mean, Jonna.
I know.
Harem Ghost of Malta story.
Dinosaur ghost doing unspeakable things to, well, never mind.
Because if we get a Hugo nomination, I will put nominated for Hugo, rejected by Law Dog, don't need to take the hit in sales. I will put that on the cover.
Yeah. I was
Yes.
touched inappropriately by a Maltese monument.
Yes, well, anyway. Moving right along.
On topic, huh?
Don't
Topic?
need to go off topic.
There was a topic
So that's my 2 out of the way.
by John Ringo.
Not that kind of ghost. I'm not editing that.
Well, a harem ghost, that could be.
I'll have to find a new editor for that one.
I think you'll have lots of volunteers.
Ghosts would be better counterparts than even humans.
But how do you make a ghostly eunuch?
Yeah.
I don't wanna-
We could ask the Ottomans. Apparently, they were fairly good at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jesse, that would be.
Oh, there will be reading, especially when they see the cover rejected by Law Dog. Don't want to take a hit in sales.
Yeah.
I will
Oh.
put that on the cover.
Yeah, but then we're going to get to it after you've done that and say, but overridden by everyone
Yeah.
else.
Right, democracy.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard does bring up a good point. In the latest Ranger competition,
Yeah.
the solution to the lockbox test
Oh, yes.
Mm,
was innovative.
yes. We're not allowed to break it, but we can bend it.
It's not broken. It's bent all to hell, but
And the instructor standing over there going, "You can't tear it up. You can't tear it up."
the
We've only
pit-
got one. You can't.
yeah, you can't tear it up. And the E6, who was an E4 at one time, is going, I'm not tearing it up. And you can see the instructor face palming.
Yeah.
Yes, the facepalm was epic.
Yeah.
That was Ranger instructor facepalm. You kind of
Was the
went
ranger who was doing that related to like
in the cane.
Walker Stacey McCain?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
It was his son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no surprise.
Yeah.
I'm so not inspired by that.
No.
Jason, yes, there are things in Malta area with tentacles.
Where do you think calamari got its start?
Yeah. No, it didn't, RK. He just got rather inventive with his way of getting into the
I
box.
think he
Yeah.
popped he wound up popping the hinge pin, didn't he?
Yeah, you popped the hinge
Drove the
pin.
hinge pin out because they were given a code to break.
Yeah.
And the solution to the code, they had one of those locks on the lock box that was you made a word and
Yeah.
it would open the padlock. Well, his buddy is trying to decipher it. He starts driving the pin out the hinge.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they did get it open in time with the combination and just lifted the whole cover off and went, yeah.
Yeah, but the poor old instructor who was saying, "Don't break it. You can't break it. You're not allowed to break
I'm
it."
not breaking it.
No,
Tap, tap, tap,
yeah.
tap, tap.
He didn't break it. He just bent it severely.
That was still usable, and that was the
Well, it was sort of kind of usable.
that was
No,
that,
Nancy, it was not a plastic ammo can. It was a.
No,
It
I don't
was
know.
a plastic.
I think
one,
it
actually.
was.
Oh, it
plastic.
was?
I think
Yeah, it was a plastic one, which is why it bent. Metal wouldn't have been so forgiving.
the shark octopus of Malta.
Shark Malta, Sharknado. There you are. That's the fourth volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's going to be two. Since I've offered a third, there won't.
And
No,
then there's all the illegal immigrants crossing from Africa to Italy.
Yeah.
If they
Oh.
stopped off at Malta, there's
they
volume
are.
5.
They are.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, there's volume 5.
Malta tourist spot, the village from Popeye's film starring Robin Williams.
It is a much
Yeah.
tourist spot actually.
Yeah.
Apparently rather popular.
Then you have the ghosts of the Knights of Malta coming back to fend off the illegal alien invasion.
Yeah.
Write it.
Yeah.
I'll write it. If it's good, we'll put it in there.
Probably get Amnesty International on my butt over that one.
Yeah.
The Knights would understand. They were seamen. They understood the compassion of the sea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like hell they did.
They were pirates.
They were indeed.
For those of you who don't know, the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, the Knights Hospitallers, who became the Knights of Malta, excuse me, gave up the whole hospital thing about the time they moved to Rhodes. When they got turfed out of Jerusalem, moved to Rhodes, they gave up the hospital and started running galleys as pirates.
Yeah.
Usually against Ottomans, but they were known for being slightly on Allied shipping.
Yep.
The
The
Venetians.
Venetians had a hard time with it.
Yeah, they kept
Yeah,
raiding Venetian
You
vessels.
see, Venice kept on paying tribute to the infidels.
Yeah.
And the Knights thought this was not a good idea. So a lot of Venetian vessels carrying the tribute were relieved of their cargoes, whether they wanted to be or not.
Yeah.
And the Knights thought they had a much better use to put that to, and they did.
And they did.
Yeah. And the other thing is the Knights actually were hospitalers in Jerusalem. That's where they got
Yeah.
their start.
Yeah, they were Knights Hospitallers.
And so they all had medical training.
Well,
Now, granted, it was a little bit,
by the time they got to Rhodes,
Yeah.
they gave up the whole medical bit of it.
yeah, but they still
Well,
had
they-
people that were
Yeah.
pretty
They
highly
actually still
trained
had
for the day and
They
age.
still had a hospital on Malta.
Yeah.
And they, on Rhodes and on Malta.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of hospitals in major European cities.
Yeah.
And part of the thing was that if you became a night hospitaler, they had like part-time and full-time.
Yeah.
You went and did duty in the hospital
Yeah.
tending the sick. So that's why they kept the label, those hospitals.
Yeah.
Well, they were pretty good at it because the famous, might as well be the patron saint of Malta, Jean de Valette, was 70 when he repelled the Ottoman Great Siege.
Yeah.
And he did it at a time when they were still using swords and pikes and battle axes in full armor and the occasional matchlock harquebus.
A lot of people don't know he was offered the cardinalcy
Yeah.
after he
He
won
turned
the
it down.
fight, and he turned it down. He just did not see himself as a cardinal. I
Yeah.
mean, I just imagine. Can you imagine him at the conclave?
Yeah.
He stepped down.
Done! Whack!
Yeah. They had roads before they had tack. Yeah.
Yep.
Shut up, Jesse.
Oh, really?
Well, to give you an idea of the respect they were in, the Turks turfed them out of Rhodes, but they had to fight so hard to do it.
Yep.
They allowed the knights to sail away in good order rather than risk a final battle
When they
because they
left,
lost so many
when they
people
left,
doing it.
when they left their citadel, they were under their flag, fully armed and armored, with drums playing,
Yeah.
and marched happily to their. And the Suleiman the Magnificent gave them full amnesty, and anybody there did not have to had 5 years that they did not have to convert to Islam or pay the tax.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because damn,
The knights gave Suleiman such a hard time that just to get them to surrender, he had to do that.
Yes, RK. They do have desalinization plants now.
Mm.
But what they did is collected rainwater in cisterns.
collect rainwater. There is some groundwater. It's limestone,
Yeah.
so it will filter the seawater. There is some groundwater.
Bermuda is the only place that I'm aware of where there is a population that there is no groundwater whatsoever.
That's surprising.
And that's why all of their roofs are white, because they're limestone coated and they use cisterns. And when we left in the 90s, when we closed the base down, we left the desal plant for them.
Yeah, that was an example of the old sexist days. They had cisterns but not rhythms.
Yeah.
You're awake today.
Yeah, well, someone has to.
So,
You're pretty well talented.
so Dave Vallette, he would, when the Knights thumped Suleiman the Magnificent, the Europe was so grateful that they started sending money to Malta. And the city of Valletta, which Dave Vallette laid the foundation stone for before dying, under circumstances I can't quite nail down.
Well, I think he just decided he'd had enough. But
Well, some folks say he died of a stroke while in mass. Some others say he was hunting boar on Comino, and others say he was.
Are you sure it's second generation?
He was doing well for a 70-year-old man.
uh,
And he had two of his bastard children legitimized by the Pope after he won the siege of Malta.
yeah, he was basically venerated like he was a demigod. Because no one else could beat the Turks, and the Knights walloped them with 6 ways from Sunday.
Smacked the hell out of him.
And of course, there was Dragut Reis, who was, if the Knights were pirates on the Christian side, Dragut was the chief pirate on the Muslim side.
Yeah.
And he came to Malta to take charge and died there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he got hit on the head by a fragment from a stone cannonball, was it? Something like that?
Not sure. He got hit in the head. He was during the siege of Fort St. Elmo.
Yes.
He had shown up, and it was a dog's breakfast. Suleiman the Magnificent had two commanders, and they couldn't agree. So Dragut showed up to snatch things in line.
Yeah.
Was apparently personally directing cannon fire onto Fort St. Elmo, and either a lucky shot from Fort St. Elmo got him, or they dropped the muzzle too low, and the stone cannonball fired by the Muslim side shattered and got him in the conch.
Yeah, they did in fact take Fort St. Elmo, but
Oh yeah.
by
Yeah.
then Dragut was no longer in a position to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And they having conquered it, they didn't take prisoners. They took all the dead knights and the men-at-arms and crucified them on wooden crosses.
Yeah.
And floated them across the harbor to the main fort in an attempt to demoralize the knights. Instead, the Valette ordered the beheading of every Muslim prisoner, and they fired the heads out of cannonballs back at the Turks.
Yeah, they got a little mushy.
Yes.
The taking of Fort St. Elmo, 1,500 or so, 150 knights and a whole bunch of men at arms died, and the knights, the ones that were too sick or injured to fight, tied themselves to chairs so they could still swing a sword.
Mhm.
And it cost the Ottomans over half of their elite Janissary infantry just to take this one little fort.
Yeah.
And they were so upset about it that they got stupid and they decapitated all the bodies before nailing the crosses and floating across the harbor. And Valette was a little annoyed by this.
Yeah. They killed 3,000 Janissaries
Mhm.
who were supposedly the premier.
They were the elite. They were the Sardaukar of
Yeah.
the Ottoman Empire.
No, Rorsch, I didn't know a sailor named Perkins that I can remember. Of course, that was in the 80s when I was there.
There was
So-
a sailor you didn't know.
Oh, hush. Yeah, I was in and out of there in the mid to late 80s, early 90s.
David asked if the Ottomans basically depopulated the island. Not that time. Now, about a third of the civilian population and a third to a half of the knights and men at arms were killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was earlier in 870. They depopulated
Yeah.
rather efficiently the island.
And this brings up something. Peter Nealon, who we know, Peter did a Facebook live stream last night.
I missed that.
And one of the things he was talking about was research. And folks, what you're hearing here is a good indication of the level of research that it takes to get a story right.
Yes.
And this is something that Peter was talking about last night, is where you always want to have at least one confirming set of research.
Yes.
A single point is, yeah, may or may not be correct.
Hmm.
You know, and it's much like going back, and we kind of got a discussion going on that chat about Westerns,
Oh, Lord.
because
Hollywood is not research.
No, it is.
yeah, no, neither is Wikipedia. But
I know, lie.
yeah, when you read a monograph from the 1850s, 1860s, 1870s, you're getting one person's interpretation of what they were going through. When you find a second monograph that is in a similar time period, and you start looking at the correlations between the two of them, now you've got a basis for writing that history and writing that story.
Like that latest Western I did, Blood, what was it? Wood, Iron, and Blood.
Yeah.
The journey along the California Trail in the 1850s.
Right.
Every chapter I wrote, I might have 20 to 30 tabs open in the browser.
Yeah.
Because I was pulling up source after source after source. And as I wrote it, literally paragraph by paragraph, I was cross-checking my facts.
Mhm.
Because there's so much absolute bullshit written about that period.
Yeah.
Where people are just making it up out of whole cloth. I insisted on doing this exactly accurately, historically, geographically, you name it. You know, if I mention a place, it's there. You can go to it.
Yeah.
And some of them I've actually been to, like in the Ames series.
Yeah.
In this book, I haven't done the whole trail, but I relied on people who were there, and they would comment about, oh, this water stop in Nevada, the water was kind of alkali, but
Yeah.
you could drink it. And when you got 5 or 6 people saying that over 5 or 6 years, okay, I'll take that. That's reliable. But it's really important to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get wandering off into the bushes somewhere.
Yeah, Brennan, it's not a matter of fudging. You're going to do that anyway in your story to tie your story together. But if you come from primary sources, then the story holds together better and it's more believable.
Yes.
It also depends
And-
on what sort of story you're writing.
Louis L'Amour is the classic
Yes.
for Westerns.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if he says something was there, he had visited it, and you can go today and find that seat or that tenna or whatever it was, and it will be where he said it was.
Yeah, the Louis L'Amour Archives, the library that
Yeah.
he set up, is still to this day the biggest single authoritative Western research center in the world.
15,000 books.
Yeah, you know, he accumulated this vast quantity of research like no other author will ever succeed in doing again because you can't get them.
Yeah.
And it's all out, it's still in existence.
Yeah.
Makes my little reader's heart go a bit better.
Yeah. One of the stories where he talked about a letter being rolled up in a gun is actually true.
Okay.
And that was how they got out of the murder was it literally because they found the papers rolled up in the barrel of the gun.
Oh, wow.
So there was no way the gun would have actually fired.
Yep.
And that's actually a true story. But those little monographs, those things are worth their weight in gold. I've got one that I got from my next door neighbor's. It's his 3 times uncle, great uncle, I think. But he was a ranger up here in North Texas in the 1880s with Company G, which went away in 1883. But he talks about this exact area, and it's about 17 or 18 handwritten pages.
Mhm.
But that also does bring up a problem. How do you read some of the handwriting and the
Yes.
spelling and other things?
And what you also have to deal with is the way that modern, I don't want to say researchers because many of them aren't.
Yeah.
But the West in particular is a classic example of if it's a case of the truth or the legend, print the legend. The Wild West was not nearly as wild
No,
as the novels and the Hollywood make it out to be.
and it wasn't as long either.
Yeah. It was one generation, 25 years. On the other hand, California in the 1850s and 1860s was infinitely worse than the Wild West is portrayed,
Yes.
to the point of literally hundreds of murders every year, major racial violence, ethnic violence, criminal violence. It was absolute mayhem. And the reason, of course, is quite simple. You had 5 or 10 men for every one woman. They were all greedy little so-and-sos out for what they could get. And they walked all over each other to get it.
Yeah.
And California was a huge crime scene, basically nonstop. And
Hasn't changed much.
yeah, when I do the sequel to that Western I just mentioned, I'm going to actually bring that out and portray it. And every single incident I write is going to be true, right out of the headlines. I don't have to make anything up.
Yeah, and Raptor and David both said, you're talking about historical or current California?
There is that. California basically never changed.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and a large part of that was the fact that it was Mexican lords.
Yep.
That came up there. They were given, what was it? I think one thing I saw was they were in total given somewhere around 7 million acres.
Yep. Land grants.
From land grants from San Diego, all the way up to San Francisco.
Yep.
And they were the god. They could do anything they wanted, and they didn't care. If somebody pissed them off, they shot them and killed them.
Yep.
Didn't care.
And the vaqueros did the same, because
Yeah.
basically, if you insult my boss, you insult me, I
Yeah.
could kill you. If you're working for an opposing guy, your hidalgo is arguing with my hidalgo, well, I'm just going to kill you because that makes my hidalgo stronger.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It really was weird.
Yeah.
And-
Armed society is a polite society, Nancy.
Not-
You're exactly correct.
Not there it wasn't. They just killed each other.
Do we seriously have 21 people watching?
Yeah.
22.
Yeah.
There's 22.
Sean, that's a good point. David's responding to David. He said there's probably less human crap in the streets in historic California, but more from the horses.
Yeah.
And they can handle it better.
There's a job making spacesuits for SpaceX that I could apply for, but I have to live in California. Which makes me very sad because I will never ever live in California.
Which actually brings me to the second point I was going to say something about
Oh, okay.
before we so rudely took a left turn.
I got my 2 out of the way.
Yeah.
Squirrels.
Yeah, Elon Musk has his money.
Yes.
What?
He has enough money in hand
To buy Twitter.
to buy Twitter.
Yeah, on his TED interview about 6 days ago, he was asked, "Well, do you have the money?" He said, "Well, yeah, I can handle that." It was just like, "Of course I do." He was
I'm
very
listening for the
matter-of-fact.
screening of the blue checks.
Yeah, apparently
Well,
there are a number of fairly big names coming in with him
Yes,
to underwrite it.
Yeah.
JP Morgan, a few others.
JP Morgan, Barclays, and I forget who the other one is.
Yeah, basically saying, well, he's
Vanguard was
the
on.
world's richest man and he's looking to make some money. Let's get in on the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what makes it even better is the word is out that he's talking about doing a hostile takeover
Yep.
which means he bypasses the board, goes directly to the shareholders. And oh,
No
by the way,
dinner, no movie, just straight
Yeah.
to business.
And,
Yeah.
and apparently he's talking to other, shall we say, more conservative billionaires like Peter Thiel,
Yeah.
who could also, quite frankly, do this out of small change.
Yeah.
He's not
And-
even going to kiss him first.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing is, if the board wants to say, well, if you get more than 15%, we invoke this, he could get 3 of his buddies to get 14% each, and he's still got it.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes and think of Alinsky.
yeah, yeah,
Bite the pillow, Buchek. Bite the pillow.
yeah, and that is correct, Sean. He has 46 billion in financing available.
Yeah.
Enough with the small talk. Off with clothes.
Yeah.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. Down on your knees.
You know, honestly,
Yeah,
Oh.
piss off the women.
don't ever do that. Afghanistan back in the 1850s should have taught you that. Honestly, if they want to poison pill it, I need to buy some stock in Twitter so that when evil overlord Elon Musk takes over, I can sell it for 3 times what I bought it for.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other two that I wanted to mention were Netflix.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time, boycott the hell out of them because of their attitude towards
Well,
kids and sex.
they are in serious money trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. It couldn't happen to a nicer
Yeah.
bunch. Same
And-
with Disney,
The other one is CNN Plus,
which is closing its doors. Yes.
closing its doors the end of the month
Not
after a $300 million investment.
Oh,
They got less than 150,000 subscribers.
Wait. I've got a thought to give. Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And Chris Wallace, having walked out of Fox so
Yes.
dramatically and signed up with them to be one of their major presenters.
Very, very
He's looking for
publicly and
another-
loudly, didn't they?
Yes,
Yes.
and now he's looking for work.
love it.
Larry Correa has been buying 1 Twitter stock for every tweet from a Twitter employee complaining about Elon Musk.
Larry's about to get rich, I think.
I know Larry's got a lot of money, but damn, that's a lot of Twitter stock.
Woo!
Yeah.
Damn.
He's going to buy another mountain.
Yeah.
By every mountain.
Yeah, David, CNN did last longer than you and I both expected. Yeah,
It didn't last as long as Jeffrey Tubin on a Zoom call.
yeah, that's true.
Ow. You've been hiding. You've been waiting on that one. Ouch.
Oh God.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a small look into my life. You're welcome.
This is what it's like around here all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you wonder why people want to come to dinner.
yeah,
Oh, the dinner table conversation gets even more interesting.
yeah. Yeah, Writers Dojo yesterday was the episode where Larry talked about it. And folks, if you're not following Writers Dojo,
Good morning.
yes, that is one hell of a primer for writing.
Yep.
It's Larry and Steve Diamond. They're doing it for free. It's on Amazon, Apple, various other places, a podcast. It is well worth it. It's a 40 minutes to an hour of your time, a couple of times a week, but go listen to them. They're in season 2 now. And if you want to know how to write, you can get it from them.
What season are we in? Are we doing seasons?
I don't know.
You ever take a break?
No.
Then it's one continuous season.
We're in season 1,
Okay, whatever.
month 36 of the first season.
Yeah. So Koala, go listen to those podcasts and start writing.
I wouldn't
Season
start,
149.
I wouldn't advise you to start writing after what you hear this particular podcast.
No.
This works for us, does not work for anybody else. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
We are
Oh, you're cooking
Outliers.
Saturday cedar? Okay. I'll
we're
take that.
we're outliers, folks.
Yeah.
What we do, one, it looks like we're a lot more successful than we are.
We're not successful.
We are not. We are grade Z writers,
We're having fun.
but we are having fun. My God, do we have fun?
Hey, I sold more than 200 books in my lifetime, so I figured I'm doing damn good.
Woohoo!
I can buy a pack of gum.
Season 5,
Mm.
0.5, yeah.
0.5. Yep, we're still practicing.
We pretty much do everything wrong.
Yes, we do.
Koala, we can fix your freaking grammar. Just write the damn story.
That's what the editor's
Put it
for,
this way,
right?
Jim. Some have seasons, we have seasoning.
Yeah, we do have seasoning.
Yes.
We tend to be a little spicy.
Uh,
Okay, Cedar, you're up. We'll take it.
Maiden aunts and children should not listen to these podcasts.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, Nancy, you're doing some of the voiceover ads. Great. Nancy and her husband Gordon are reenactors, actors, and weapon experts and horse experts.
Nice people.
And we're going to be doing a panel with them via Zoom at Telecon next week, which I still don't have any information on, Nancy, so I'll get it to you as soon as I can.
I still have no idea.
Courtney,
I
Yeah.
do.
I still have no idea whether I'm doing any panels, and if so, which
Working
ones.
on it. We'll talk about it.
She's doing it right now.
What are you going to do if you give me the list the day before and I say no?
You won't.
Shall I-
We know better. You
I know
won't.
where you sleep.
My wife will protect me. At least I think she will.
Okay.
I can't bring the pillow.
Space Cowboy Anthology. Due date is September-ish.
ish.
September 30th. September 30th. Due date September 30th. 5 to 8,000 words. Must be entertaining.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get a space helmet big enough to take a longhorn's horns, you know? So it'd be extended to the sides.
Double underline entertaining. 5 to 8,000 words, but negotiable depending on how entertaining your story is. And if I can't get 12, y'all can publish on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stop
right.
giggling at me.
I'm not giggling, I'm cackling.
What if you get a ghost of Malta who's become a vaquero riding in space to corner up some longhorns?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
September 30th. The due date September 30th. We'll go with that.
When is Cedar's hunting anthology due? Cedar? If you're
Cedar?
listening,
Cedar is listening somewhere.
what's
when
it?
does the hunting anthology do, Cedar?
Lovecraftian children's stories. What?
That sounds fun.
Did I agree to another fucking anthology? I haven't been jumped Fool's Con. I know I did not agree to another fucking anthology.
You did on this one.
No, I didn't.
We volunteered you.
Yeah,
That doesn't count.
June the 30th.
June 30th. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the early days of my blog, I wrote in a blog article about how not to hunt the skunk. I think I'll rework that one for a hunting anthology.
Oh,
Two teenage boys in a 1022 tried to shoot a skunk under the house. Guess what happened? Yeah.
oh,
They hit
yes.
it.
Mm,
They hit it.
well, they hit a water pipe next to it, and the
Oh,
resulting
even better.
flood was, shall we say, seasoned.
oh, yes.
Yes. Fun.
Oh, okay. That's Cedar's doing that one. I'm
Yeah.
panicking there for a minute.
Oh, you're writing for it, but she's publishing it.
I am?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
I can do that. That I can do.
Joel Presby roped Cedar into doing a Lovecraftian children's story.
Woohoo! Yes. Apparently there is a T-shirt somewhere that says "Get me drunk and I'll do your anthology."
Why are you looking at me?
Because
Oh, Rick had a good idea, Peter. Taggery should pay a visit to Malta.
Ooh, now there's a thought.
Yes,
Hmm,
that would work well.
yes.
I mean,
Especially if the knights were still around.
Yes.
seriously, is there somebody actually doing a "Get me drunk and I'll do your anthology" T-shirt?
Yes.
You bastards!
Yep. I think we can work with it.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, you will don't forget, Jim. You commented that you and I need to get our Western characters together
Yeah.
in a book and see what we can do about that.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking we could have some fun.
I'm thinking about 2 books down the road will be about the right time frame.
So I figure that Knights of Malta are getting launched at FinCon, and the Space Cowboy anthology being launched at MarsCon or Fantasy something, and I can put this anthology BS to bed.
Yeah, right. Good luck with that.
You were not here yesterday.
What?
Don't worry about it.
You'll find out.
You just have to sit there and be pretty. That's all we need
Yeah.
from you. Sometimes wear the hat.
What?
Plans are being made for you.
Cedar says I have a t-shirt pod company that I work with.
Why me?
Why not?
Because
Why
you
not?
because you look like a victim.
You have the best legs.
It's easy to prop you up on a stick and pretend you're in charge.
Oh, Brennan, you nailed that one. Oh, you sweet summer redheaded child.
Somebody needs to fill me in on what's happening, please.
In the fullness of time. Sir.
Yeah.
We will let you know in time to avoid the worst damage.
Yeah.
I can rack pull your spleen. I just want to put that out there.
Yes.
And folks, this is a good indication of how not to do a live stream or a podcast or anything else.
Oh, no, I think it works beautifully.
Allegedly, this is the worst way to do a live stream.
What you mean where it's enjoyable?
I could always,
Rita hits it out of the park like
Yeah.
usual.
well, if you like, we can hold the next one of these when they cost.
I want to know what the hell y'all are planning so that I can duck.
We'll let you know when it's time to done.
Now, Rick,
We'll
we're
pickle at you.
You remind me of that one goon show where,
We're gonna have a talk.
right now the expression on your face reminds me of that goon show where they're at sea and on a ship and there's a mine ahead and Eccles shouts out, "Don't worry about the mine, fellows, it's one of ours."
Yeah.
Followed by a thunderous explosion. Dead silence for a half a minute, then, oh.
yeah. Well, the thing is, Sean, listening and having done panels twice with professionals that do this for a living, we pretty much do everything wrong.
Yeah, we do. We do everything.
We forgot to mention that we're live from the Blanket Fort. We forgot to mention that we have a sponsor now.
Oh, we do, don't we?
It's true, but it's not. You've just done it now, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sponsor.
Sponsor at the back there.
No, the coffee place. What the hell is that coffee place?
Oh, I can
King
show
Hard.
Wait,
King Hards.
we've got Vanna White. Just a sec.
you. I have
She is not
samples.
nearly as boring as Vanna White.
Yeah.
Well, she's wearing fewer clothes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, here comes.
King Hart's Coffee. They've taken a stance on Pluto as a planet. They agree that Pluto is in fact a planet. So they do.
We approve this message.
And it's delicious coffee too.
Yeah. And it is good coffee.
Live from Blanket Fort. It's Thursday afternoon. And
If you had been here the Thursday you were down here, Tom, you would have been in the middle of this too.
oh, I was hoping I was gonna nail your feet to the floor in front of this camera. Look, it's Tom Roggenby. Let's poke Tom.
Yeah.
Is he fun to cook?
He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember when he calls himself Daddy Bear? It's a
We,
Yeah.
we put enough bourbon down him and he gets really fun.
We
We
need
need,
his wife.
we need his wife with us.
Oh, Robin's even better.
With
Yeah.
a wild
She's
turkey.
been
You out here, baby? All right.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go in here. Yeah, I'm gonna go by my. Okay.
Rita is off to buy her regalia for her
Because I'm a ship.
for her sachet across the stage to receive her master's degree.
Yay.
No, the fun part is when we get together kind of informally. For some reason, our shared experiences add up to more than the sum of their parts. Like I can remember Tom Kratman sitting there looking back and forth between Jim and I when we were discussing chasing the same Russian submarine from opposite sides of the Atlantic about 30 years before we knew either of us existed.
Yeah.
And we still tell that story, and people are like, what?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it happened. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah. And Tom is hard to catch by surprise.
Yes.
Depends on how much bourbon you put down.
Well, and we did have fun. The tea ladies. We went to
Oh
the
Lord.
tea shop.
Yeah, up in Chattanooga. Yeah.
down the street or across the street from the Choo Choo. This was
A few years ago.
a few years ago, yeah. And Dot had this great plan of taking the wives over to get out of everybody's hair and get some quiet time with her and Anita and I forget who else.
Yeah, right.
She ends up with Tom, me, Ian, and Peter.
And Tom Rognaby
And-
and, a
and
few
Ro-
others.
And Rognaby, yeah. And we invade this tea shop. And the little old ladies in there are kind of going, "Meh, who are these people?"
Mhm.
And then Peter trots out his British accent. And they're, oh, yes, sir, we'll.
Because it's a lady from London owned the tea shop.
Yeah.
It was an actual, honest to God, English Rose tea garden.
Yes. A civilizing touch in the heartland of degenerate America.
Yes,
So they served
matter of
us.
fact,
And then they were getting ready to close.
finger sandwiches. In fact, I hadn't had a
Yeah.
decent crest sandwich since I got here. It was glorious.
Yes.
And we proceeded to go down some rat holes talking about the military. And the ladies kept cleaning the same two tables
Yes.
just so they could sit there and listen to us.
That was after that. I had to go hide for 2 hours because I didn't actually get to contribute to the conversation because we got two tables and a fan had shown up. And I thought he was a Crapman fan. He was not. And I was so geeked, it took me 2 hours to come out of my shell after that.
Yeah, breakfast at the Frothy Monkey was usually
Oh.
interesting.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Sometimes it was good. Sometimes
I
it
miss
was.
the Frothy Monkey.
Yeah.
Although being from Africa, frothy monkeys is
Yeah.
a really bad mental image.
Well, frothy monkeys mean you reach for a rifle and put them out of their misery before they bite you, because you don't want to catch what they've got.
All right. Don, tell him I said congratulations. There is an interesting thing going on, for lack of a better term, with some of the big manufacturers where they're trying to get kids right out of school and train them up.
Oh.
And Don's nephew, oldest nephew, is going to be one of those kids.
Return to the apprenticeship program.
Yeah.
Or
And he's
apprenticeship.
signing with John Deere on the 28th.
Woohoo! Well done.
So he will be fully trained by John Deere to work on all their equipment.
It's like a 4-year training period,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Apprenticeship is back.
Yep.
Only problem is they're taking him from Colorado to Maine. That's a bit of a stretch.
Now he's going to Nebraska.
Oh, okay. That's more like it.
Yeah.
He could. I was told Maine, and I was thinking, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Might actually constitute abuse. Taking Colorado to Nebraska.
Probably.
Where are the mountains?
You don't have to worry about the training. 'Cause, I mean, I'm being distracted because there's nothing. There's nothing in Nebraska except endless.
Yeah, Don, I did get it today. Not sure that I'm going to be able to make it, but we'll do something for him.
We somebody made David Bach made a interesting comment, and I would like to salute the 363rd Armed Farmers Brigade in Ukraine on their tactical reacquisition of artillery pieces.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. They've got tanks. The one that we've seen, we've got tanks, armored personnel carriers, mortars. I think there was at least one 152 mil artillery piece.
Yeah.
Several hundred rifles and grenades.
And apparently a train.
a train as well. Okay,
Yeah.
they're
Now,
upping their game.
apparently, the train was stopped full of Russian military
Oh,
gradu,
yeah.
and they got off for a cup of tea or something, and somebody snuck on board, and they
Ooh,
looked up, and it,
There you go. That'll do it.
Yeah, Rick, it's not. You just saved me the trouble of looking it up. Sea of Azov is not
it
very
didn't
deep.
go down the Sea of Azov, went down the Black Sea.
That's still not that deep.
It's fairly deep.
It's not that deep.
Well, the interesting thing about that, of course, is that
Must go right there.
Russia's shipyards are no longer capable of building that ship.
No.
They've lost so much of the expertise they had. They're having terrible trouble even building coastal patrol corvettes and frigates.
Yeah.
And they can build the odd nuclear submarine, but it's taking them 3 times as long as it should.
Yeah.
Because they do not have the expertise, the staff, or the equipment that they need to do it. And apparently, in the first 30 days after Ukraine was invaded, something over 500,000 Russians, including a heck of a lot of their tech people, left.
Yeah.
They emigrated. They've gone to the West because they're saying, we don't want to be part of this crap. And that's going to put them in even more of a world of hurt because they don't have enough anyway. And now all the younger ones who are still mobile and got the skills that the West needs are all packing up and going. And apparently being welcomed with open arms in Western Europe.
Yeah.
Because they need their skills and their training.
Yeah, Sean, 7,200 feet sounds about right. But go 60 miles south of Odessa, about 60 miles due south, maybe a little southeast,
Mm-hmm.
and look at the water depth there. I think it's going to be a little bit less. Brian, yes, that would be very good.
Of course, the interesting speculation is whether they had nuclear warheads on board.
Yeah.
Because apparently a couple of them were standard equipment on those ships.
Yes, it was built in Ukraine. Matter of fact, it was built in Mariupol. And Azov Steel, which is the holdout right now, still today in Mariupol, made the steel for the Slava.
And this, folks, is why you don't rename a Navy ship.
Yeah. Yes.
We've got a location, but not a depth at that location.
Well, it's easy enough to pull up.
It's like Hitler at the beginning of World War II. One of the pocket battleships was named the Deutschland.
Yeah.
And he said this would be terrible if the enemy sinks Germany, rename the ship. So they renamed it to Lutzow.
Yeah, and it got sunk.
It got sunk towards the end of the war,
Yeah.
yes. And they had a little difficulty with that.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
All their ships named for great German leaders got sunk one way or the
Yeah.
other.
You know, and this what we've got going on in the chat is what makes me really appreciate this bunch.
I'm glad you do. Usually they're trying to break me.
I'm looking at the level of expertise
Oh.
we've got in here.
Uh-huh.
Because usually they're trying to doing their damnedest to break me. I don't know why that's a funny thing.
Because you're so damn funny when you do it. For some of us that have known you for
Why
a
are you
while,
giggling?
Because you're making that sound.
Yes. It's the squeaky noise of rusty chain passing over things.
I make a noise.
Yes, you do that noise.
the accents only come out twice today.
I know I made a noise.
Yeah, you do.
It's the classic hashtag Ian's annoyed noise.
Hashtag Ian's annoyed. Tell me that's not a hashtag.
Yeah.
Never mind, Ian. We love you anyway.
It's the Uncle Bad Touch kind of love, but yeah.
No, I have never felt about you that way. You'll probably be delighted to know.
Yeah, I'm not going to even get into the Intel thing, but we know a pretty good bit about what annoyed Fox memes. Yeah.
Yes.
It
It is fascinating, though, to look at the way the Ukrainians appear to have decoyed Slava.
Oh yeah.
Sending out a drone so they concentrate on it. And apparently all of the fire control radars on that ship looked to one side or the other, but not both.
Yeah.
So they were all looking one side of the ship and in come the Neptune missiles from the other.
Yeah,
Well,
well, there was,
Out there doing a fan dance.
it was also providing targeting.
Yes.
That was where they got the targeting for the ship.
And I mean, all this stuff about, the US must have provided them targeting. No way.
Yeah.
We could give satellite intel saying you'll find the ship in that grid square.
Yeah.
But that's not targeting information. That's location. After that, it was up to the Ukrainians to pin it down.
And they did.
You know, they did very
They
nicely.
did rather well.
And
I was asked this morning whether or not there might have been a P8 in the area.
It probably
No.
was. It was around Romania. There was one, but that's too far away to
It
get
was,
any targeting.
yeah, it was too far away.
It could just give general location. And there's a big blip there.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is. And
And never mind.
okay, they,
Damn it.
they might know what it is, but we can't talk about
Never mind.
it. Yes.
God.
And Jim just sits there quietly, making Jim noises.
I'm just when
Yeah. Yeah, Richard,
not
that
going there.
that was absolutely hilarious. That was almost as bad as him shaking hands with a ghost.
Mm.
Uh,
Oh,
the ficus in chief
yeah.
at the Easter egg hunt was being guided around by the Easter rabbit in costume.
Yes. I think it was Obama inside that costume, actually.
No,
Yeah,
some of the press people.
Aricept hadn't been administered yet.
yeah.
I'm a bad person.
Yes,
What?
you are.
What?
Oh,
What is it?
Spotify has decided they don't like the Obamas anymore.
Oh, welcome to the rest of the United States.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Brian. I'll look at it as soon as we get done. Oh, and we are done.
What?
What's scary too is look at what this new World Health Organization regulations mean. They are being advanced by the Biden administration.
Yeah.
by
Of
the
course
way.
they are.
It is literally a possible takeover by the WHO of every government in the world if this passes.
Yeah.
Because it gives their unelected, untrammeled
Brahmandarans.
boss the right to make
Brahmandarans.
decisions for every nation, including whether you'll quarantine or not, whether you'll lock down or not,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah, they
lot.
can fuck right off.
And this is scary. I've written about it twice on my blog this week. It is genuinely scary.
I want to know when the hell I became an interesting person. Seriously.
You became what?
You were born on Malta and then lived in Africa.
You were a warlord at 12.
Let me go
And?
back to
And?
That's interesting.
I think the sapper lizard might have had something to do with it.
no. I was thinking back on TFR. Some of your snark back then,
Yes.
Okay, but
and
still,
you started Larry.
It's funny how all of us go way back to the firing line and the high road. You know,
I'm just-
gun forums, what, 25 years ago?
oh
Yeah.
good Lord, 1999.
Yeah. 99.
We basically have known each other for a generation.
Yeah.
And we haven't recovered from it yet.
Let's break Ian. Let's do Ian things. Let's make T-shirt with Ian sayings on them. What the hell?
I could contribute a few stories for those
Because-
t-shirts.
Peter and I, because Peter and I are old and grumpy, and we won't put up with that shit.
And all the rest of us are just very boring.
Boring. We're
Yeah.
also boring.
Right.
Very, very
Boring.
boring. Totally boring. That's
Oh,
our story.
Sure.
Hang on, I got the bullshit flag around here somewhere.
Now I have to make that.
Bullshit.
There's only one boring.
Bullshit on the flag, on the play.
I want it yellow with the knot in the end of it, so I can throw it at people.
Flag on the play. Bullshit.
Yeah.
And on that note, folks, we have wasted another hour of your time.
Holy crap, we have.
Yeah. Just like Brennan has to own the Duster Dan memes.
I figure we were 20 minutes in.
No, not purple with sequins. That's for you submariners. Y'all like that stuff. And on that note, folks,
Shots
have-
fired. Shots fired.
Yeah.
y'all have a good weekend.
See
Be
ya.
safe.
See you Tuesday. What is
Yeah.
today?
Today is Thursday.
Okay, Tuesday. See y'all Tuesday.
You're not doing next Thursday because we're
We're doing it at Tolcon.
Okay.
We're
For
gonna do it
whoever
right at
left is left.
All right. See you,
Uh,
folks. Be good out there. If you can't be good, be careful.
Y'all
and
be safe.
remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We'll see you later. Bye.
Well, that was one for the books.
Yeah, that